G'day everybody, Simon here, Explosive Action, and I am back with another update. This time we've got a mixed media format update, DVD, Blu-ray, LaserDisc and VHS. Let's get into it. So before we get into this stack of movies here, a gentle reminder that this video went to channel members first. You can join for 99 cents a month. Helps the channel out. You get early access. You can comment early in the chat. And you never know, we might have some exclusives in the future. Consider joining. So quite the stack this month. And like I said, mixed formats. We've got DVDs here and we've got Blu-rays. We've got some boutique Blu-rays. We've got a couple of Blu-ray Mediabooks from Germany, from the fatherland. We have a box set. We have 2 VHS and we have 2 LaserDiscs. This is just all over the map. We'll get into it because it might be a long one. I'll try and keep it as short as I can. The first one here, and there's a bit of a theme here, it's all direct-to-video action, which is, go back in time, that was the staple of this channel. It was the staple of explosive action. And we're starting off with Randy Couture in Blowback. So how you say his surname? Couture? Couture? I've never quite worked it out, but anyway. Yeah. Bit of Randy here and some cheap DTV action. Blowback. I mean, it's a Randy with a gun. It's got some other guy on the left. Now, I know there's some thoughts. I haven't seen this one yet. There's some general thoughts about action DVD covers when it has some guy on the left who you don't know, and then person you do know on the right. In that it's going to be 90% this guy and 10% that guy. And it's probably what's going to happen. Cam Gigandet just looks like every other modern, half-shaven action hero guy. That's probably a wrestler at some point. Anyway, we have Randy in this one. It was the perfect heist until everything went wrong. UFC heavyweight champion Randy Couture stars as the master thief, sabotaged and left for dead by his team. Thirsting for revenge, he aims to take out his old crew, one target at a time. Now with the cops and the mob closing in on him, he's in a life or death race to regain an untold fortune of cryptocurrency. Oh my god. Just too modern. Blowback is a nail-bitingly tense, action-packed thriller that will keep you guessing at every turn. I mean, that sentence, just insert movie name, is a nail-bitingly tense action thriller, keep you guessing every turn. I mean, God, how generic is that? But anyway, we will see how much Randy action's on this. You can see that the other bloke, who is clearly the star, wasn't even mentioned there. So, I don't know. We will see. But hey, this was... The theme with these was like none of them exceeded about $6, which in American is like $3.50 or something. So yeah, Blowback. We got 2 from the same director here, and the director did a film called The Commando, not Commando, but The Commando, which was certainly a movie. But we have more UFC stars here. We have Donald Cowboy Carone, Chael Sonnen, and Quinton Rampage Jackson, who's at least a name I do recognize. But anyway, we have here Mojave Diamonds. Mojave Diamonds? I don't know, I haven't watched it yet, so I haven't heard it spoken. When former MMA fighter, it's a thing, Roy runs afoul of the Vegas mob, he and his GI brother Danny must deliver 50 million shipment of diamonds to Mexico. But when the shipment is stolen by a rival gang, the family of their younger brother Joe is abducted as retribution. Now 3 siblings must join forces to penetrate the mob compound and rescue their loved ones, no matter the cost. From the producer of Blowback and The Commando comes the intense action thriller featuring UFC superstars, etc., etc. in Chael Sonnen in his major movie debut. Major movie. This director is called Asif Akbar. I don't know about major movie. It's interesting because his stuff is showing up. It's definitely getting distribution. I'll give him that. The DVDs and everything are everywhere. So, Mojave Diamonds, we will check that one out. No idea. And another from this same director, and then we're switching from director theme into action star theme. We have MR9 Do or Die. I won this for 99 cents. Oh dear. And it's basically a brand new release too. Like it's within the last sort of 6 months, maybe 3 months even. MR9, Do or Die. Filmed by Asif Akbar. But we have Michael J. White, who was in The Commando, and Frank Grillo. And that starts the theme we're about to get into. I wanted to bolster my Grillo collection. And yeah, we're going to do so with MR9. Oh, Jesus. If you want machine gun action fueled by martial arts mastery, then get set for this heart-racing thrill ride based on international best-selling spy novel. Okay? An elite Bangladeshi agent codenamed MR9 teams up with a CIA operative to take down the world's robotics terrorist organization, headed by two ruthless brothers who will stop at nothing for world domination. You'll never catch your breath as explosive gunfire and maximum mayhem ignite the screens across multiple continents. Starring Michael J. White and Frank Grillo. Jesus. Anyway, MR9. It is filmed in 2.88 to 1 aspect ratio. That's an odd one. 2.88 to 1. That's bloody thin, is what that is. But anyway, another Asif Akbar joint. We will see. And now we move on to some more Grillo. I believe this is another case of guy on the left has most movie, guy on the right has not much movie, and we have Black Lotus here. Rico Verhoeven, I'm assuming that's the guy on the left that looks like the guy from Blowback, even though it's not, but it's like I said, all of these young, half-shaven guys look exactly the same. Peter Franzen, and then with Roland Moeller and Frank Grillo. I mean, that's your nail right there, nail in the coffin. Frank's going to have about 3 minutes movie time in this, I guarantee. After losing his best friend on Special Ops mission gone wrong, Matteo Donna has roamed the world, plagued with guilt. Years later, he returns to Amsterdam to check on his friend's family. His desire for redemption becomes a quest for revenge when they are targeted by a local crime syndicate. When the streams and canals of the city explode as Matteo launches a one-man war against everyone who has threatened those he loves. Get ready for hard-hitting action from the producer of Fall. I don't think I've seen that one. That's the two girls at the top of the tower one, isn't it? Starring Frank Grillo, Peter Franzen from Vikings, so that's from the TV show Vikings, and 11-time kickboxing world champion Rico Verhoeven. That's cool. I mean, I've always been about these, like, you know, martial artists as action heroes, UFC, MMA, kickboxer champion as action heroes. I'm all about it, so I will completely give this one a go. And hope for the best. Even if Grillo's only in it for 3 seconds, I'm hopeful that the Rico Verhoeven guy kicks some ass. We will see. This one's got Grillo, and he's not even on the cover or in the name, Black and Blue. So, you know, hit me, punch me around, Black and Blue, for jumping on this and putting this in my Grillo collection. But hey, again, it's a couple of bucks. I just wanted to fill him out, and yeah, even if he's not in it much, I did read the reviews on these, and they all got, you know, passable to good, which is fine. Black and Blue is a fast-paced action thriller about a rookie cop, Academy Award nominee Naomi Harris from Moonlight, who inadvertently captures the murder of a young drug dealer on her body cam. After realizing the murder was committed by a corrupt cop, she teams up with the one person from her community who is willing to help her, Tyrese Gibson, as she tries to escape the criminals out for revenge and the police who are desperate to destroy the incriminating footage. Yeah, no mention of Grillo. He is the third listed on the back. I imagine he's going to be one of the crooked cops. I can see him there, back there, looking coppish, but I guess he's going to be crooked. We will see. But yeah, a Screen Gems release, Black and Blue. And then the last one, I think I'm getting a bit of a cold or something going on, a bit of a cough, so I don't know. We'll see how we go. I do film these things like a week ahead, usually, so, you know, by the time that you see this, I could be dead. Who knows? Into the Ashes, Frank Grillo. Once again, with Luke Grimes, Robert Taylor, James Badge Dale, from the Vengeance... From the fire, vengeance will rise. The sins of your past will find you. Into the Ashes is a brutal revenge thriller from team behind Cold in July and Lawless. With an honest job and loving wife, Nick Brenner believed he had finally escaped his violent criminal history. His old crew hasn't forgotten about him or the money he stole, and when they take what Nick now values the most, his wife, he has nothing left to lose. Confronted by the town sheriff, who is also his father-in-law, Nick must decide if he will stay on a new path or indulge in the need for revenge and force his enemies to pay for what they have done. Brooding, bullet-filled, and breathtakingly violent, Into the Ashes is an unmissable crime thriller. There you go. Crime thriller. I mean, that's always a little bit of a, nah, I prefer to hear action thriller. I prefer just to see explosive action, but, you know, we'll see how the crime thriller with Frank Grillo on this one goes. Where's he in the credits? Yeah, he's fourth again in the credits, so... I don't know, you never know. That's him there. It's most likely a Luke Grimes, Robert Taylor joint. I'm going to assume of these guys. But, yep, Into the Ashes. Got 4 Grillo with an asterisk films there. The next one. This was fun in a terrible, terrible kind of way. It has a bit of a story to it. This is Dino Gator. It was also originally called Cobra Gator, and it had its release mid-January this year. With Jim Wynorski directed this thing, so it's your standard sort of sci-fi channel kind of thing, with giant Dino Gator eating people and Michael Madsen being very Michael Madsen. That's your plot. Except for that the girls in this are in some kind of really, really crappy rock band, and they're filming a video clip in this, like, swamps of wherever Madsen lives. And anyway, they all get picked off by this Dino Gator. Now, as I said, this thing was originally called Cobra Gator. It was filmed, I think, about 2014. I think is what I read. It has a very early trailer. It had Roger Corman involvement. It was apparently sold to the Sci-Fi Channel, and then nothing happened. I've seen conflicting reports that it aired. I can't find any proof that it was actually aired on the Sci-Fi Channel, but mostly what I'm saying is it got shelved. They filmed it, Roger Corman involved, Wynorski, sat on the shelf. Then I started reading about it last year, about this time last year. This lost, crazy Sci-Fi Channel kind of film. And I'm like, well, that sounds exciting. And there was a bodgy copy that leaked online. I think there was. I couldn't be bothered looking at it. And then Jim announced on his Facebook that this is finally getting a release. So, yay, I picked it up. Dino Gator, I'll read you from the back. When a gigantic mutated reptile gets loose in the swampy wilderness, the murky waters suddenly become an all-you-can-eat human buffet. Scientist that created the beast, Michael Madsen. Can you see him as a scientist? No. A big game hunter, Paul Logan, and a group of tourists must stop it from devouring the entire city. Well, there's no city. I mean, it's whatever. With their numbers dwindling and the hungry creature closing in, they'll have to use their wits to avoid becoming the next meal. So, like I said, it's pretty fun. There's no boobs. There's a lot of CG eating. There's some pretty funny, amusing kills. Some pretty, like, bad acting, cringy lines and stuff, but you get that with these, so you just roll with it. It's fine. The whole thing is fine. It's fun. Short, 82 minutes. So it's definitely worth checking out some way, I would say. If you like, your Shark the Puss and all that kind of Roger Corman stuff from sort of like the mid-2000s, that kind of thing. This feels like it completely belongs next to Dino Shark. It completely does. So, but I will... This is annoying. I didn't realize this. I think it is more obvious if you check it on the international sites, but that DVD logo looks suspect because when you look at the thing, she is a manufacturer on demand, and that rubs me the wrong way. Just press the DVDs. You're going to sell 500 of them. You're going to sell 500. You can do this. You don't have to make bloody MODs of this. Not that hard. So anyway, keep that in mind. It's the only edition as far as I'm aware of. It is a MOD. It plays fine. It looks pretty overly compressed. Didn't have to be either, but I guess it does. It is what you're gonna get, and it's better than nothing, because it literally was nothing on a shelf. So there you go, Dino Gator. And then completely and utterly changing our pace here, we have Human Pork Chop. Human Pork Chop. Category 3 horribleness, which I watched and I actually quite enjoyed. I can't read you anything from the back on this one, but nor can I remember who was in this. But it is your... this is midnight. What year is it? They even have a year on here I can read. I think it was like 93 or something. It's quite late in the game. Anyway, won't waste your time. So it is your grisly... well, I'll go through the plot a little bit. It's a bunch of gangster types that, as well as being gangster types and running criminal kind of things, they seem to be just storing women in their crappy hovel of a house and like using them as slaves. And they convince some of them to stay of their own free will, and there's that part of it. Then they keep other women because they haven't paid their debts, so they have to stay and work for them. And it just gets more and more and more degrading as the film goes on. So this is a slime ball of a film. The main woman in this film, you have empathy for her because she's obviously been, a rock and a hard place, had to borrow this money, can't pay it back. They essentially keep her. It gets worse, worse, and worse for her. Really, really bad. The title is Human Pork Chop. You can connect all the dots as you like, but it's Cat 3. You know what you're signing up for right there, and that scene on the front happens in the film. So look, there you go. I don't remember exactly, as I said, who directed or starred in it, but just go look it up. It ain't a happy film. None of these ever are, but if you are into Cat 3 and of the more, this style, check it out. Human Pork Chop. It's a whale of a time. Into the Blu-rays now, and we have Drop Zone. No, not the brand new, fancy, ridiculous Vinegar Syndrome 4K, luxurious, already sold out $80 Drop Zone. No, I did what I knew this was going to happen too, and a lot of the time I'm okay with this. Sometimes I want the latest and greatest because the new scan's going to matter, particularly with an old 70s film or an 80s film. But this is Drop Zone. It's like it's a 90s film. The Blu-ray here is apparently already fine. I looked it up. And what I expected to happen happened. This thing has been very, very hard to get. It goes for very silly money, particularly overseas. I've seen it go for over 100. No one's going to pay that. And I didn't want to pay the price for the new Vinegar Syndrome for a 4K and a cool cover art, but that's not the cover art. This boring thing is actually the poster, so you should have this. So I just waited on local Australian eBay, and yes, somebody discarded their old one. I put in a bid for roughly about US $12, I think is what I paid in US dollars. 20 Australian, about 12, 13 US. And I landed Drop Zone, which was formerly a $100 Blu-ray. So yeah, happy. And it's just a 90s, 1994 Snipes here. From his sort of Passenger 57 era. Wesley Snipes free falls into the daredevil world of skydiving in his high-octane thriller that takes crime fighting to new heights. US Marshal Pete Nessip, that's Snipes, finds his career in hot water. Unironically, a few years later he did. When the prisoner he's transporting parachutes out of a 747 and disappears safely into the night with his deadly cohorts in law. While Nessip does his best to stop the bold escape, he can't stop the force from suspending him. Even this isn't enough to keep him out of action. Instead, he does what he must to track down a cadre of techno-terrorists. Even if it means skydiving from 30,000 feet in the air. Co-starring Gary Abusive Busey, Yancey Butler, and Michael Jeter. Drop Zone is a rush that will keep your adrenaline pumping from beginning to end. Gary Abusive Busey. It doesn't say abusive on the back, but you know what I'm talking about. There you go. Drop Zone. You all know it's Drop Zone, and now I have it upgraded from my DVD. Now the 4 I got here are all new releases from Raro, who are an Italian company who now... They've had Blu-rays their own distribution for a while, but now they've teamed up with Kino to make it a bit easier in US markets, I guess. The first one here is Magnum Cop, a Stelvio Marci joint. For quite a few of his films, it turns out. And it's got Joan Collins in it. Now, I watched this last night, and I've got to say, it's entertaining, and Merle is very Merle, but at the same time, he's not. It's got an odd thing going on here, especially the first third. I'll read you the background. It's a Magnum Cop, gritty Italian action film with eye-opening performance by Joan Collins as decadent seductress Bridget. Wally Spader, that's Maurizio Melli, is an ex-cop making ends meet as a private detective who gets mixed up in an investigation of a missing girl. Leads him to Austria's underworld and a prostitution racket run by a sleazy femme fatale, that is Collins. Director Stelvio Marci was inspired by Raymond Chandler's famous detective Philip Marlowe, making Sparta a more human, less violent cop than the ones Merle was used to play. And we'll get into this. So while Magnum Cop has its share of hair-raising action, it's also a charming character piece that shows Merle's range as an actor. Maybe, but what it shows is that first third of the film, he feels like he's a bit crap, like as in his career, his strength as a policeman or an ex-policeman. He's this private eye kind of guy now, and he's got a guy that he works with, and it's kind of goofy. Like the dialogue at the start, it's borderline slapstick at times, and it was really off-putting because I'm used to seeing Merle just punch people out, and he wasn't so much. He was lighthearted. He was he was sort of like trying to rip people off, things like that. It was really odd to see. It's not bad. It was just odd. Um, when it starts to get darker as the crimes unfold, and he takes up this job, digs deeper into the underbelly and all that kind of thing, and it gets darker and it gets more action and more suspense thriller and all that kind of stuff that you'd expect Euro crime. But it's not quite your full ball, Polizia film. It is. And when I say that it's like got this comedy at the front, I'm not entirely sure if they intended it. I did watch it with the English audio. There's Italian as well. Even though the back here just says Italian with optional English subtitles, there's an English audio track. And I watched it with that because that's usually how I see the early films with English audio. He sounded like he normally does. I think it's probably the same guy. Dubbed him, and it's just it's an odd one. Definitely that first third. It makes you sort of go, am I really watching a Merle film here? Because he's really kind of different. I'm going to rewatch this at some point, knowing that going in that it's a little bit more offbeat at the start. Like the very opening scene is just classic Eurocrime. Like he just appears from the side and blows away a bad guy, and then it's the opening titles. What was it called? It's got another name. Fearless Fuzz is the other name for this film. Like, yeah, Fearless Fuzz, Magnum Cop, you're gonna blow them all away, and that's not so much that. But anyway, there you go. Stelvio Marci, and we have Amazio Merle and Joan Collins, and it's not a 2-minute performance. She's got a decent role. She's in there for about 15 minutes or so. So yeah, Magnum Cop. Next up, this one I was happy to see because this one was one of the Cineploit media books that I missed out on. And I don't think they've so far reissued it normally, but it doesn't matter. Raro and Kino have now the new Godfathers. So there you go. With a really cool cover artwork on this one. The last media book left of the new Godfathers German edition was a really bad cover, and I had no interest in that. Yeah, an Alfonso Brescia film with the American mafia families pooling their resources to bring huge quantities of cheap heroin into the country. It's up to the Italian customs official Ivano Radovic, played by Gianni Garco, to allow the authorities to intercept the drugs en route to the USA. Radovic enters into an unlikely partnership with Naples mob boss Don Francesco Portirello, Mario Marola, whose speciality is cigarette smuggling. Together they enter into an unpredictably violent war on drugs. So there you go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. This one's had some good write-ups. We also got the US release cut on this one. So yeah, there you go. Actually, I didn't check that. Is that how they did the English one on this one? No. Oh yeah, it does. It does actually say bonus feature, alternate English audio track, but then in the main audio it doesn't list it. So my bad, I didn't notice that. They didn't put it in the same spot. Which is the same deal here. We have Italian with optional English subtitles, but then we have a US release cut in English audio. So I wonder if that means it's a different length or different scenes or whatever. That could be interesting. But there you go. The new Godfathers. Keen to check that one out. And the next two, also brand new releases, help really almost complete. I'm only missing like a couple. Fernando de Leo films. Good director, did Il Boss and dozens of others. Well, probably about a dozen or 15 all up that I'm interested in anyway. So Nick the Sting, this one here with Luke Miranda, who's in so many of these, and Lee J. Cobb. Love a bit of Lee J. Cobb. Nick the Sting is another slam bam action film from pulp movie master Fernando de Leo. Italian connection, Shoot First Die Later. Great cover on Shoot First Die Later. Luke Miranda stars as small-time conman Nick Hazard, who gets caught up in the biggest scams of crime boss Robert Clark, Lee J. Cobb. Love a bit of Lee J. Cobb. In Geneva, Switzerland, Nick gets involved in duel-related insurance scams, but soon realizes that Clark is about to execute a double cross. So Nick gets a team together and concocts an elaborate scam of his own involving false arrests, fake murders, and prop police stations. High-stakes game of double and triple cross will either put Nick on the easy street or straight into the grave. Yeah, this one should be good. We have a video history of 60s and 70s split-screen cinema by Mike Malloy. I don't really know what split-screen cinema is, so I will enjoy watching that and learn what that is. And again, in Italian with optional English subs. Maybe there's English audio again. If you don't know with these things. Nick the Sting. And the last of the Kino Raros and Fernando de Leo. This one is Madness. Really cool other cover artwork on that one too. It looks a little bit more horror giallo. From famed director Fernando de Leo, Caliber 9, another good one of his. Outrageously violent thriller Madness, starring cult icon Joe D'Alessandro from Flesh, Trash, and Heat. After brutally killing 2 farmers with a pitchfork, there you go, escaped prisoner Joe D'Alessandro makes a beeline for the holiday cottage he has stashed some loot 5 years before. Before he can retrieve his cash, a car pulls up with the womanizing Sergio, Gianni Mascia from Emmanuel Around the World, his trusting wife Liliana, Patrizia Bain, and her flirty sister Paola, Lorraine DeSalle from Cannibal Ferox. Excellent. Joe proceeds to torment this already dysfunctional trio with increasing depravity. Ooh. Yep, bring it on. Another one that's apparently in Italian with English subs. We'll see if there's any English audio at all. Audio commentary by Troy Howarth and the trailer. So yeah, Madness. Should be good. Next up, we got a couple in German. I can't really read you the back, but I have the latest one from Van Damme, Darkness of Man. Not German. I think this was Danish, Norwegian, Swedish, Finnish. So this is the Scandinavian release. Yeah, I've heard it's not great, and the cover artworks I've seen, there's a few variants of this cover artwork, and they're all pretty bad. It's just him. It's very Seagal looking, isn't it? Very Seagal looking. And I literally can't read you anything from the back except that his name is Russell Hatch. He's an Interpol agent. Let's see if I can piece anything together on here. Across the 4 languages. No, not much. Except for he's holding a gun. G's Finnish is hard to read compared to some of the others. I mean, Dutch looks basically like English, but wrong. And then there's Finnish, which is just full of K's. Anyway, yeah, can't help you with that, but it is an English-friendly audio Blu-ray. Darkness of Man, it's in scope, and yeah, I do look forward to checking it out because it's Van Damme. He hasn't done anything really in a while. He's done a couple of did a Netflix film. He's not doing like Seagal was doing or like Scott Adkins is doing. He's not smashing them out. He's taking his time. So I hope that pays dividends, but I've got a feeling it may not. But anyway, it was really cheap from who did I get it from? From Rare Waves. Darkness of Man. I got that from Rare Waves. As I also picked up, which I have already watched, a newer, very new Scott Adkins Take Cover. So again, it's all in Scandinavian languages on the back. Can't read it, but this is actually quite tight. Unfortunately, it's one of those Scott films where he's got an American accent. I don't know why he does this. Try and sell himself a bit wider or something. I don't know. I think he shouldn't. I think he's one of those actors where you just want him to speak. He's kind of British tough guy. Like, yeah, I don't think he needs to do the American accent thing. So hopefully he doesn't keep it up. But anyway, this is cool. He's a sniper. It's a standard plot, right? The cover is misleading, right? These two are never together like that. It is essentially him and a couple of ring-ins that happen along the way, but that's effectively his boss, and he only sees her in sort of like over the phone sequences or over intercom sequences, that kind of thing. So bit of a she may have a gun, but we never see it kind of deal. But anyway, he is a sniper. He's phoned in and says, right, yep, last job, I'm finished. It's your classic plot, and gets an okay from her saying that's fine, okay, thanks for your work, blah blah. Going to treat you to this lovely motel, and thanks for all your work over the years. Have a nice stay at this hotel. And then it's got a huge glass frontage. He's enjoying his time there with his girlfriend or something, or can't remember who, but with some lady friend. And snipers start shooting through the giant glass window. And most of the film is him trying to avoid being shot from miles away. Take cover. So he's like hiding behind couches and like coming up with ways to avoid being shot, ways to get out of here. And then, yeah, I don't want to get too much into the plot and how all these things are related, but it's the kind of thing you could probably work it out already, where these two characters sit. But I enjoyed it. It's quite, as I said, quite tight. It's 90% filmed in the one room. It's got some pre and post stuff. It wraps up nicely, but yeah, it's a solid one. It's quite short too. 89 minutes. I think it was actually felt a bit shorter than that. Yeah, again, English friendly, and all of the Scandinavian subtitles are optional. So yeah, Take Cover, quite recommended for all you Scott Adkins fans. I did an order at Diabolic DVD some time ago, and had some pre-orders in it. And with Diabolic, I've learned if something's on pre-order and then there's new stuff that they've added, and if you're happy to wait, you can email them and they'll just like send you a separate invoice or tell you how to pay the extra bit, and you can just keep tacking on to your order, which is nice when you're dealing with international shipping. But I picked up Gold Raiders, aka Mission Fire Game, on Blu-ray with a Robert Ginty here. Great poster artwork on this one in one of those big full cover Blu-ray cases. Again, it's in German, can't read you from the back. Gold Raiders has always been a good one. I've got the Japanese VHS. I think, was it shot in the Philippines? I think it was. Yeah, with Philip Chalong was the director. Either Philippines or Indonesia. I can't remember exactly which one. Might have been Indonesia. But you got Robert Ginty, Sarah Langfeld, Sombat Krong Ron, and Narawat Lavana Vasana. We have 2 cuts on here. I haven't watched it all the way through. I sampled it, but you get an 81-minute cut and an 109-minute extended cut. And as is usual, a lot of these things, the extended cut uses that's a huge lengthy difference there. So I recommend watching the 109, but it uses lesser quality stuff to insert into it. I don't remember it being terrible. I think it might have been VHS source, but they've tried to scope it and frame it and it makes it look better. It's not completely jarring. It's the main thing has been scanned from, I think, a print. It's got a bit of damage and stuff, but you never go into these German releases, particularly stuff from like Cargo Records, expecting that it's got a 4K scan from the negatives. You just get what you're given, and who the hell else is at this point going to do Mission Fire Game? Maybe a VSA if you're lucky, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's cool. You got reverse cover, so different artwork. Neither have the logo, the ratings logo. I think that was on the shrink wrap I ripped off. So anyway, recommend if you like this film, or if you just like that 80s action from sort of Indonesia, Philippines, that kind of stuff. Check it out. Gold Raiders is the name on the Japanese tape. Mission Fire Games. I guess the name may be in Germany. So yeah, good little release. This is a new one from, this is Cauldron's, what is it? What's the sub-label? Neon Eagle. I always forget the name of Neon Eagle. The releases are so few and far between. The Cauldron Asian Cinema sub-label. Is it Cauldron's or is it Mondo's? I can't remember anymore. Whatever. Neon Eagle. Might have been Mondo's. Yeah, I Want to Get Even. Great artwork. I enjoy both the artworks. That one's kind of simple and VHS-y. You can see sort of like a Medusa logo there in the corner from the old VHS days. But anyway, read you from the back here. Indonesia's premier female action star of the 80s, Eva Arnaz, stars as Irma, pregnant bar hostess with a troubled marriage, to put it lightly in brackets, to bulky lunk Rudy. Bulky lunk. Her life isn't great, but she's making the best of it. These things go quickly downhill for her when she's kidnapped and assaulted by local drug lord Cobra. Such a drug lord name. She escapes her captors only to find her idiotic hubby less than sympathetic. She refuses his demands that she abort their baby. He pushes her from a moving car. This just keeps getting better. Meanwhile, Cobra betrays his business partner Roni, played by the ubiquitous Indo character actor Dicky Zaklanian, setting up a bloody gang war. In the background, Rudy keeps trying and failing to get retribution on the criminals. These two narrative threads end up meeting in the film's truly explosive finale when Irma finally gets her ultra-violent revenge. And I look forward to that. Pure exploitation, pure trash through and through. The only thing uglier than the early 80s fashions on display is the film's sexual politics. Woo! Sign me up. The sleaziest film made in the heyday of Indonesian exploitation, explosion, and Neon Eagle video could not be more thrilled to bring it to the US for the first time since VHS. Warning, this is not for the faint of heart or easily offended. Ay, ay, ay. 2K restoration. Audio commentary by Andrew Leavold. I had no idea, Andrew. I must have missed the memo. Excellent. Well done, sir. Reversible cover, which is probably the... Yeah, it is. It's just the slip. Yeah. Here's the slip, isn't it? No, it's not. That's a third alternate. It's the same as the booklet. So there you go. Yeah, and you get, yes, booklet. Probably won't go through all the booklets today because we've got a pile of stuff. But anyway, yeah. I Want to Get Even with audio commentary from Andrew Leavold. Awesome. It's in scope. 90 minutes. We get English audio. We get Indonesian audio with English subs if you want. And I'm not seeing anything about extras, but you know, aside from the commentary. But this is an Indonesian 80s film. You're lucky to get the film. So I want to get even. I want to get watching that film. Um, Now we do have a couple of Mondos here. These were the two that interested me from the. When the hell was this? Was this Black Friday? Was this November? I've lost track. Um, Safe to say that the latest batch that they got up now, which just seem to be essentially softcore films, I'm not that interested in, so I'm skipping the next lot. But yeah, Girls Slaves of Morgana Le Fay. Oh yeah, in 4K, which you need the Blu-ray. Kind of annoying. The way of the world these days. I'm definitely getting something. Girl Slaves of Morgana Le Fay. From France, driving in their car through France one summer, two young girls, Anna and Francois, find themselves trapped in the kingdom of the mythic Morgana, king and queen of witches. Ever since Merlin taught her skills centuries ago, Morgana has gone on living by obtaining the souls of young women who pass through her kingdom. In exchange, she gives the captives who agree to her pact eternal youth and beauty. Those who refuse her grow old and ugly in the dungeons of her castle. On its original release, the classic erotic horror was heavily censored. It is presented here uncut, fully restored in a brand new 4K scan, etc. Yeah, let's see what else we got here. Artistic couple short film by Bruno Gantillon from 1970. Short film. We got some interviews, audio commentary with Bruno Gantillon and Lucas Balbo, as film expert. And yeah, we get some stuff on the inside here, as you'd expect. I can show just about. We get booklets. We get some nice lobby cards. Yep, very cool. And the two discs, 4K and the Blu-ray, of which I only require one. You 4K kids making me spend extra money on my discs. Anyway, is what it is. Morgana, Slave Girls of Morgana Le Fay. Looks like a good time to me. And the next one, which went straight into the Japanese collection, is Boachi Bushido, Code of the Forgotten 8. I had this one on DVD and never did actually get around to watching it. This is an 80s film. So, yeah, I actually, look, I much prefer that artwork, honestly. Like, I much prefer that. Anyway, it's fun. Code of the Forgotten 8. Japanese release, 1972. I thought this was from the 80s. Oh, what do I know? Classic 70s Japanese cinema, the legendary actor Tetsuro Tanba stars as Shiro, master swordsman known as the Assassin. Weary of the world of samurai honor and samurai killing, he attempts suicide in the middle of a sword fight by leaping into a fast-flowing river. Saved by the Boachi clan, a gang of vicious pimps who have forsaken all honor and whose cynicism outruns even his own. Ultimately, he tires of even their nihilistic worldview, leading to a final showdown in the show when he takes on a small army of brutal killers. Full of flying limbs, naked lady ninjas, drug-induced hallucinations, cackling villains, wild action set pieces, Boachi Bushido is one of director Tiro Ishii's most deranged and impressive spectacles. I'm sure it is, and there's some nude bums here on the back, so I probably can't turn it around. Yeah, we get 4K blah blah, 4K transfer, English subs. We get an archive interview. We get a new interview with the director, Tetsuro Ishii. That's nice. Commentary with Tom Mayer. Older archive commentary with Boachi Bushido theatrical trailer with the makers and the trailer, full color booklet, blah blah blah. So again, big booklet on this one, and 4K and the Blu-ray. So go check Mondo, because this is from the previous lot. See if this is still available. I've got a feeling these didn't sell out. So anyway, go check them out. They do get reissued. You get the Blu-ray editions only, and you don't get the slips. And honestly, as I said, I prefer that. I don't know what the cover artwork they're using on the reissue. I kind of do prefer that. Doesn't matter. It's all good. This is still nice, and it wraps around. So yeah, Boachi Bushido. Now, back to the Diabolic order, and this was the pre-order I did for them to get these two releases, and then I tacked on other stuff. Like I was saying, that Mission Fire game was a tack on later, but I picked up, oh man, Cries and Shadows, and this is another tick in the, we are in the golden age of physical media right here. Cries and Shadows, aka Exorcist 3, yes, if you didn't know that. The Japanese VHS, which I never managed to get, it's quite hard to get that one, was called Cries and Shadows. I had the British VHS, the UK tape from the 80s, and that was called Exorcist 3. it's a fun one. It's your absolute Exorcist ripoff. That's why it's called Exorcist 3. Italian, of course, Un Urlo dalle Tenebre. Lovely glossy slip on this one. Hardcover slip too. Never saw that cover before. Un Urlo dalle Tenebre, obviously the Italian poster, which is just, I mean, obvious. Anyway, after photographing a naked woman at a waterfall and discovering she was absent from all photos, Peter, Jean-Claude Verne, not Verne Dam, returns to the scene only to find a mysterious Tahal pendant that initiates an hysterical and sex-crazed possession. As Peter spirals into baffling madness, people start to die in inexplicable ways, prompting Peter's nun sister Elena to call an exorcist, veteran actor Richard Conte, the Godfather, in his last role, to rid him of the insidious demon. Directed by Angelo Panaccio, Sex of the Witch, and Luca Daimano, Cries and Shadows emerges as one of the sleaziest Italian possession films produced in the wake of The Exorcist. By the power of Christ, Cauldron Films is compelled to bring you the longest version available. Scanned from the original negative, restored in 2K, Narcy's bits intact. It looked great. I watched this pretty much straight away because it's a good fun one. It's silly, of course. This guy playing the possessed character is a bit of a hoot. Haven't watched any of the features though. We get Angelo, a portrait interview with actress Alana Fusco, Exploitation Symphony interview with composer, Delivering the Devil interview with the DOP, Half a Film interview with the script supervisor, Introducing the Devil interview with film historian Eugenio Colani, and audio commentary by him and Troy Cowarth. We get the Blue there, and the soundtrack CD, which is outrageous. Soundtrack CD booklet, and I did get a Tahal. I've already forgotten where it is. Oh, it's over there. I've got the Tahal medallion. So the original orders came with a little medallion. There you go. That's the back of it. Stuck on, and I slipped it in here. Yeah, a little Tahal medallion, which looks screen perfect. So there you go. Cries and Shadows. I don't know if you can still get it with the medallion or not, but anyway, get the film. It's good fun if you like your Italian Exorcist exploitation. And I was stoked they did this because the this film has had a Blu-ray for quite some time, but just a German release on a couple of different media books, and they become very hard to get. Mad Foxes. Man, this is a sleazy trash to piece, this one. Mad Foxes. I've always wanted to see it. I'd never seen it. It was one of those, like, really want to see this film. Couldn't find the media book. I couldn't find any other release. And then, Cauldron whipped this thing out. So, like, yep, sold. Read from the back. After Playboy Hal, Jose Grass from Conquest, tangles with a group of bikers at a red light that leaves one of them dead, the situation violently escalates, leading to a bloodbath of shootings, assaults, murder, and a well-deserved dismemberment. And they've capitalized member. And you can work that out for yourself. The carnage drives us full throttle from street to the countryside with a soundtrack that will easily rock you. Mad Max's The Ride or Die of a Lifetime. This is such a wild hoot. Like, yeah, the soundtrack is ridiculous. What's the band? Is it listed here? I've already forgotten, but 80s sort of hard rocky metal band is playing all the way through this thing. It's a fairly short film, 80 minutes, 80-minute film. It's got a Blu-ray and a UHD. Obviously, I watched the Blu-ray. There you go. Reverse cover, which is the same as that box. Quite liked that reverse cover though. That was cool from, I don't know, probably some VHS release. But it's wash, rinse, repeat the whole time. It's just biker gang, stop a bunch of people, have their way with them, kill half of them, move on, and it just goes on and on and on and gets slimier and more messed up until the grand comeuppance. So, and a lot happens in 80 minutes. This is quite the film. And we get another wraparound, which I've slipped in here too. So there you go. And a poster. That's right. All in the hard box, so you get a poster if you want that on your wall. Great double release here from Cauldron this time around. Mad Foxes and Cries and Shadows. So yeah, awesome. This one I picked up locally. I was eyeing this off at Vinegar Syndrome for at least a year, and I don't know, it was from the partner label, it was from Saturn's Core. It never made its way into my cart. It was always that additional thing to add on, and I never did. But somebody had this locally and I picked it up, and that is At Dawn They Sleep. Look at that. It's like a total black metal cover. Look at that. Outstanding. And then you look at the one in here, and that's the original DVD cover, and that makes you go, yes, that's a Brian Paullin film, which is exactly what this is. And it turns out to be my first Brian Paullin film on Blu-ray. His stuff really doesn't need to be on Blu-ray. Like, he shoots these things on SD cams or whatever. So what year is this thing? Not too sure actually when this thing came out. Anyway, let's read it. When a drug deal goes awry, best friends Stephen and Ian find themselves at odds with rival crime outfit. Soon after, their lives are turned upside down, where they spend a lust-filled night with two beautiful women who turn out to be bloodthirsty angelic vampires. Hate when that happens. Once the vampiric transformation takes hold, Stephen and Ian use their newfound bloodlust and immortality to enact a gore-soaked revenge on their backstabbing adversaries. When Stephen makes a pact with the demon to hunt down and exterminate the angels that spawned him, former friends must battle to death as the ultimate fate of mankind hangs in the balance. Perhaps the ultimate mashup of 90s genre film tropes, At Dawn They Sleep from Massachusetts-based video auteur Brian Paullin, Bone Sickness, Fetus, Blood Pigs. I got all his stuff and I got half of it signed. Seamlessly fused the vampire mystique, Hong Kong-style gunplay, practical splatter effects, and salacious eroticism into a post-Tarantino crime caper. Notoriously innovative, Paullin packed his micro-budget production with cast stunts, miniatures, bloody burns, full-frontal female nudity. I like how they put female there, so there's no massive dongs coming. Somber autumn vibes, and his trademark show-stopping practical gore and creature effects. Not to mention a blistering black metal soundtrack featuring, and this is why I like Brian Paullin, because he's just one of us. One of us, and then I'm talking on my metal side here. He's not like, oh, I like Five Finger Death Punch and I'm making a movie. No, his soundtrack includes Swedish band Dawn, Usurper, War, Arcanum. Like, these are legit bands, and he's got them in the soundtrack to a micro-budget horror film. Excellent. Saturn's Core is proud to present At Dawn They Sleep in their first ever director-approved Blu-ray edition, newly paired with Paullin's scarce debut SOV gore epic Reap of Evil. So that was another reason to get this thing. Is I think that was a VHS only release, Reap of Evil, which arrives accompanied by a wealth of extras. So there's a ton of extras on here. I won't go through them. Main film is 77 minutes long, and then Reap of Evil is 94 minutes long. And there you go. You get the reverse cover, and a very black metal looking front there. Whoops, upside down. So yeah, really cool. I really shouldn't have had waited to pick this thing up. But anyway, I've got it now. So there you go. At Dawn They Sleep. Thank you, Brian Paullin. Golden Age. We now have a Blu-ray of Furious. Man, this is a 1984 cheapo, very, very homegrown action film, martial arts kind of thing, that I've inflicted on so many people. This is right up there as your bad movie night kind of movie, and I've thrown this at a few people. I threw it at one person who said he wanted to tear his eyes out, so you can take that as you will. But we now have the damn thing on Blu-ray. Now, it was shot in SD, but this is an upscale. But the Blu-ray is, look, DVD is all you need for the resolution of SD, but Blu-ray is a better archival medium. The compression on MPEG-4 and AVC that they use for Blu-ray is, the MPEG-2 codec was made in like 1994, and then the Blu-ray codec is more like 2006. So just the technology in compression means that the storage of the SD scan looks better on Blu-ray just because of the compression improvements. So something to keep in mind if you're like, oh, that doesn't need to be on Blu-ray. It can be a better storage mechanism. Plus, you fit on more extras and stuff. So, Simon, you need to watch the film. A fierce kung fu master ventures into the city's gritty underbelly for answers to his sister's death. There, a cunning spiritual master deceives him, plotting to snatch his piece of an ancient amulet that he shared with her. Unraveling the scheme, Simon plunges fists and feet into a bone-crushing battle for the fate of the world against an alien army of karate wizards, dragons, a new wave clone band, it's like full-on Devo, talking pigs and mystical chickens. This film rules. Right? Absolutely rules. And I've had the DVD. There was an official DVD that came out about maybe a decade ago, maybe 8 years ago or something. It was the first time I had a legit DVD. There was some grey market ones before that, but I had a legit DVD, and that's what I've been inflicting on people. Now I can re-inflict them with the Blu-ray. One of the most bizarre domestic martial arts movies ever made, Furious throws the 80s home video chop socky craze in a blender with elements of the supernatural, horror, and superhero genres by way of an improvised MTV video. Featuring Hollywood martial arts legends Simon and Philip Ree, best of the best, Matrix Inception, in their first ever starring roles. Also, the choreographers for the non-stop action on display in the film. And my god, so you get the slip, you get the American VHS cover, which is cool. You don't get the, I'm assuming it's the UK VHS cover, which would have been a nice reverse, which is on the DVD. You get a newer one. I really would have preferred to see that recreation as the classic one with the samurai star. We get all kinds of shit in here. So I gotta make sure I hold it right. We get right. Go through the obvious things. So there's the sort of chapter card thing. Not chapter card, it's a promo card. Acknowledgements and stuff. We get it's a little poster. Very cool. Little poster. Great. Single-sided. And then we get these stickers, like rental stickers, which is a Visual Vengeance thing, I guess, nothing to do with the film. But then to do with the film, we get a Furious Ninja Star hanging thing. So, yeah. Golden Age! Amazing. So, yeah, originally I was always going to get this, but it listed quite expensive on Amazon. So I just waited, and then I hit one of those, deal of the day things, and I got it for a good price. So, yeah. Director approved SD master from the original tape, archival commentary, new commentary, interviews, more interviews, video essays. There's a litany of things on here. Podcasts, Super 8 footage of the band, just everything in this thing. And then you'll stick your own VHS sticker set. So there you go, Furious, mad. And then lastly, here we've got two Blu-ray Mediabooks. Again, German, can't read you the back, but shouldn't need to with this one. Jackie Chan's First Strike. So far, only on Mediabook. There's no other edition of this. And it was looking a little bit sketchy about what was going to happen with this. I was reading a lot of things about particular rights issues with this version, with this film. Something was going to make it difficult to get a US or a UK release. We'll see. I mean, probably tomorrow Eureka will announce it. But whatever. First Strike. This is one of the ones I really needed for my collection for Jackie Chan. Again, it's all in German on the back here, so yeah, can't help you out there. But this is the fourth one in the what's the series? Mental blank. The third one's Super Cop, and now I've forgotten what the series is actually called. But anyway, but we get Blu-ray disc 1. We get Blu-ray disc 2. This is important because you get the uncut version on here. So disc 1's the 84-minute, more standard one, but then 107-minute cut on the second disc. That's the one you want to watch, which has got Mandarin audio and English audio. Unfortunately, you only get German subs. It lists here on the back, so you're going to be watching this one with English. But I think it's okay for this kind of one. Watch this one in English. It is a Golden Harvest thing. I don't remember what the natural language for this film was. There's a lot of American type guys in this film too, so I don't remember the natural language for First Strike. Might have been English with a bit of Cantonese or something, a bit of Mandarin. But anyway, I'm happy. And there is actually one piece of English in here, so you get your usual nice little book in here that you can't read because it's all in German. But then we get a quote from Verne. Nice to have a quote from Verne in here. It's the only English thing in here. The excitement of Jackie was entirely about the miracle of human movement, a guy who can flip and run up walls and jump up buildings and onto or over vehicles. A daredevil, a silent comedian, a kung fu master all rolled into one. He wasn't cool in the same way that Chow Yun-Fat was. He was kind of a dork, but also a god. There you go, Verne's always got a good way of words. So there you go, Jackie Chan's First Strike. And the last one we have here, which is a Cineploid, haven't bought one from them in a while. This is Cat in Heat, 70s Giallo. I've always wanted to see this one. I don't think it had a DVD. I think this is a VHS to Blu-ray upgrade. So I've never seen this one. I can't, again, read you from the back. Just about show you that. I don't think those tartars are on full display. No, it's okay. It's a limited to 500 thing. It's in Italian audio or English audio, and it has English subs, so you covered both bases there. and it's a 185:1 full HD, and it is in 90 minutes long. But yeah, it's got Eva Semeres, who is there, who's very nice. Silvano Tranquilli, Anthony Fontane, and the director is Nello Rossati, who has done a few other things. But yeah, nice little booklet here. Actually got a bit of English in this one, so that's nice. So that bottom part down there is in English. All about him, mostly in German as I flick through it. We did get that opening part in English, which is nice. Nice poster artwork there. Some other films. There's Top Line down there. I do like the Cinepoint releases. Oh, we do have some more English actually. So there you go. I have to go through this. Yeah, Talent on his journey through the 70s. That's in English. Is that the full? Is that the front thing? Oh, I think it might be. That's actually quite good. They've got a full English version there of the German thing at the start. So there you go. Full English center part there. So there you go. Legata in Calore Gialli. That's from, I've never seen. It is from 70, I want to say like 72, maybe 74. But yeah, very much keen to see this one. Captain Heat. The last of the Blu-rays I'm going to show is a box set. I'll just quickly show it because we now have Shaw Brothers Classics Volume 6 from Shout Factory. I actually never thought they'd get this far. I kind of thought they might do 1 or 2 and then kind of tap out, but here we are at 6, and it's the second one for this year. Yeah, so it's fair to say that there's a huge amount of Shaw Brothers at the moment. Eureka have been doing their they started to do a lot of 3-packs, loosely tied together, like maybe all the same star or the same director or whatever, and they released 3 films. They just announced another one. They're doing basically 1 a month, so that's impressive. 88 Films have started to kick back off their Shaw Brothers line. Obviously, Shout over here. There's a lot of Shaw coming from the Euro and the US markets, and it's great. And the crossover isn't much. Arrow with the Shaw Scope Volume 3. The crossover hasn't, between the boxes, there's been no crossover, which I've been happy about. But yeah, a few of the 88 Films singular Blu-rays have been retired in favor of like the Shaw Scope sets. But yeah, in this one, I'll show you the box again. Firstly, this one, they actually fall out, so you don't have to worry about getting a replacement box, even if you can, like in Volume 5, when it was impossible to get them out. These ones are nice. We get the Crazy Nuts of Kung Fu, The Black Tavern, The Young Avenger, Shadow Girl, Swordsman at Large, Finger of Doom, Nachar and the Seven Devils, Black Enforcer, Jewel for Gold, Swordsman 3, and 12 gold medallions. I'll show them quickly. So as usual, you get 2 on a disc, except for one that's just 1, I think. And I'm quite happy with, I mean, there is about 1,000 of these films, and I've got, I think I'm 160 or something on Blu-ray. Some insane amount now, like it's absolutely insanity. So if they want to make box sets to take up less space, fine with that. It's going to take me a long time to work through them. I'm well behind in checking them out. I do pick at them from time to time. It's one day not one day. I needed like an entire year to just belt through nothing but Shaw. Shaw Brothers Volume 6. Yeah, great stuff. Thank you, Shout. There's the back. I mean, they're always, they're all in Mandarin. They're all in scope. They're all nice prints. Probably all been provided to them by Celestial. And yeah, there you go. Amazing. Now, let's get into some analog. I've got 2 Japanese VHS. It's been a long time since I've shown you anything here. And the first one I can talk mostly about. This was the main thing I wanted to pick up. And I got these from an Australian seller. There's an Australian guy in Perth that has a Japanese VHS collection. And he also imports stuff, and it comes with doubles or triples or whatever, and he sells those on Facebook. And yeah, he's in Australia, which is very helpful for me. So I was very happy to pick up these 2 for very, very good price. First one is Warbus. Yes, a bit of Italian action here. Always love that cover. Warbus. Now, I've forgotten who the director is for this thing, but yeah, your usual array of shot in the Philippines jungle. Action film stars have all shown up in Warbus. It's one of the more renowned ones. The important thing is that the Australian VHS was cut, and I got rid of that a long time ago because it was cut and annoyed me. It's like 72 minutes or something. This is the 96-minute version. There you go. And I watched it, and it was great. It's still not my favorite of these things. Like, it's got some pacing problems, but like the general film, like its purpose is quite a direct. Like, you know, the military guys take over a bus to basically get out of the country, and just run along things all along the way, and it becomes quite explosive and all the good things that you like from these films. So yeah, I think it's Romana Christoph's in this thing. Yeah, all the usuals are in here. Unfortunately, I can't really read from the back, but yeah. Warbus, I'm really happy to have the Japanese tape. There's no digital release, I don't think. There might be like a grey market German DVD that's probably struck from a tape, but I'm really happy to have the Japanese tape go with all my other jungle films on Japanese VHS. Good stuff. Now this one, I can't talk too much about. This was let's chuck it in. This is apparently a TV movie, and it is it's directed by Hugo Stiglitz. Tell you that, and it's got David Carradine in it. This is called Code Death, and this makes it look jungly action, but apparently it's a bit more sort of like I don't want to say Western, but I think it's more like Texas kind of thing. It's got a lot of explosions, but it is apparently a TV movie. It is 90 minutes long. It does have a helicopter in there that I hope explodes. I haven't checked this one out yet, but it's going to be on my list very soon. I think it's a 90s film. It might be an early 90s film, like I don't know, like 92 or something. Bit of a guess there, but I haven't checked it out. I kind of chucked it in there because it was when am I going to get local Japanese VHS tapes? And I went through his list of stuff. He had a lot of good things, but mostly like, you know, just stuff that's on Blu-ray, stuff that's on DVDs. And I only want Japanese VHS if it does not have a better edition. And then I saw this thing, Code Death, directed by Hugo Stiglitz. And Nadine Markova was the director of photography. It's got bloody David Carradine in it. So I don't know. Have you seen Code Death? Let me know. Might be sort of a. I mean, I think it's some of it's done in Mexico. Might be like a Spanish co-production or something. I don't know. I'm just curious to check this thing out. So yeah, Code Death in a bright green case. Albatross. It's the first thing I've got from that label. Yeah, I don't know. Check it out. Code Death. And now we move into the LaserDiscs. Again, there was a local Australian LaserDisc shop that was having a bit of a sale. It had one LaserDisc there I was eyeing off. It does have a DVD, but it's hard to find, and I know for sure it's just basically a LaserDisc on DVD, so whatever. But this first one here was sort of the value add. I'm like, what the hell is that? This reads too weird. And I looked it up, and I've learned it's some kind of like a US VHS, you know, rental favorite or something. So I don't know. I am now the proud, perhaps, owner of Hyper Sapien People from Another Star. I don't know, but that very family, like early 80s kind of family adventure thing, and then planets and Hyper Sapien. She was from another star. He had waited his whole life for this one meeting. Together they fell in love on a place called Earth. This could be cringe. I don't know. It's out on Warner. There's the back. From many light years away, straight into your heart, ready or not, here they come. The elders say, strange, blue-green planet isn't ready for visitors, but Robin and Tavi intend to prove them wrong. They're setting their sights on planet Earth. Set your sights on Hyper Sapien, People from Another Star, a movie treat that, like E.T., it's one of those E.T. answers, and batteries not included. Now I like both those films. Delivers fun for everybody. Sydney Penny from Pale Rider and Rosie Marcel play Robin and Tavi, the young intruders who land in Wyoming and live an adventure even outer space can't match. Ricky Paul Golden from Kate and Alley provides friendship, pedal to the metal when events turn against the visitors. Keenan Wynn, in the last of his 200 plus films, is a wily Gramps eager to welcome anyone from anywhere, providing it results in a good poker game. Dealing himself in is Kirby the Trilat, a far-off stowaway from far off. A far-off stowaway from far off. What a horrible sentence. With 3 arms, 3 eyes, and a knack for stirring up 3 times more mischief than seems possible, you can see why I jumped into this. Cuddly Kirby is the most adorable and smart alecky otherworldly creature this size of Alf. And you do get a photo here of this thing. So I don't know, I'm kind of hoping for some kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm hoping for here. Maybe we'll get some like, you know, obvious Pepsi can photos or something. Bit of Mac and Me action. I don't know. They mentioned Alf. Wizardry of team of animatronic experts. Animatronic experts. There you go. I am getting some kind of snippets. Hopefully it's not coming across on the video. There's life out there and they've finally found us. Isn't it time you found them? Enjoy. Hyper Sapien, people from another star. You tell me, guys, particularly you Americans. I am told that this is a bit of a VHS rental favorite and blah blah. When I was young, I used to rent this, etc., etc. Beautiful condition in laser. Haven't checked it out yet though. We shall see. Hyper Sapien, people from another star. It has been some time since I've re-sleeved a LaserDisc on camera. Hyper Sapien. But this is the thing I wanted to pick up. And it's well-timed, unfortunately well-timed, with the passing of Australian stuntman and actor Richard Norton. I now have under the gun. Yeah, really happy to have this one. I was trying to get some more Richard. This is what sparked it off. Is like, he passed away. I took a re-look at my collection and went, I'm missing some pretty obvious Norton starring films, and I made a note of Under the Gun. And then, like, literally the next day, this LaserDisc shop had a sale, and I'm like, I remember that I had that thing on my wish list. It made it like $8 Australian or something, like very, very cheap. Under the Gun, you can't outrun a bullet. Like I said, there's a DVD of this thing. There's a couple. I think there's like a German DVD. There's a very hard to get American DVD. But look, they're both full screen. They're probably gonna look like tapes anyway. So whatever, I will take it. It's an image LaserDisc. It's everything you need, right? Over the years, debt-ridden club owner Frank Torrance Norton has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Crazy drug dealers, obsessed cops, psychotic hitman after a decade of begging, borrowing, and stealing, decides to call it quits. He still owes, big time, so when he's called to the table, he's left with only 2 choices: lay down and die or fight back. Using his wits and his fists, Frank does the only thing he knows how, with the assurance when the smoke clears, he'll be the last one standing. There you go, classic bit of crappy action there. A Matthew George film. We got Kathy Long was also in this. Roland Dantes, Peter Lindsay, Robert Bruce, Tino Celebrano, and a special appearance by Jane Badler. Who directed this thing? Written and directed by Matthew George. So there you go. This one is a bit of Richard Norton that I needed. So Under the Gun. Happy to have it on laser. You know, if the DVD showed up and it was just sitting there, I'd buy it anyway. But beautiful condition. Again, hopefully it plays fine. You just don't know if you got laser rock till you chuck these things in, unfortunately, most of the time. But they look good and they've been well cared for, and it was shipped well, so probably going to be fine. Under the Gun. You can't outrun a bullet. RIP to Richard Norton. And RIP to this update, because that's it. We are done. Mixed formats. Blu-ray, DVD, Mediabook, LaserDisc, VHS. We are all over the spectrum here, folks. We are through the looking glass. And that's all I'm going to give you today. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, do consider joining the channel if you can. Otherwise, please like, subscribe, check out this guy. And I'll see you next time.